Hi everyone, it's Vicky. Today I am showing you a journal I've recently made, and it's been a while since I made a journal and a while since I made a video. So I already filmed this and I was out of frame. So this is take 2. This journal is made with an Amazon box, and it's one of those thin ones that they send books to your house in. And then I used a lot of envelopes. So the cover is covered with a brown envelope. I used the Amazon packing box, and then I covered it with a brown envelope so there's no raw edges. And the pages are made with envelopes. I also used a serviette or a napkin and some washi stickers. I used those were new. And then I raided my ephemera box and I pulled out all the lovely things that I've been saving that fit inside this journal. Sorry. So the first thing is this journaling card I made a while ago, and I'll put the link in the description box below. I had made a whole lot in different sizes, and this one has been laminated, and so I found it in my ephemera box and I thought it would be perfect, and it fits into that front pocket there. The next one is this one, and if I can remember where I got this, I'll put it in the description box. It was a free printable from somewhere. So that was that one. And this little thing here was in my ephemera box. It was attached to something else, and I thought it made a beautiful pocket for the front of my journal. So it's got a bit of lace, it's got this paper flower, and then I added a piece of torn paper that's from an envelope, and that is like a little label. My favorite part about this journal is the closure. So it's made of a piece of linen. Make sure I'm still in frame. And I've made some dish towels recently out of linen, and I saved all the salvages because I love that fluffy end, and you'll see I've used it all the way through the journal. So the piece wasn't long enough to tie, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to bind it when I started making the journal. So I glued the fabric just there, so you can see the little end sticking out. My glue did leak through, or it's left like a stain, and so I've put this pocket over the top, which helps anchor it down as well so it won't peel up. And then inside I've got a tea dyed tag with some embroidery floss, and it's sewn around that pocket there. But I did love this closure, so that's how it works. You just wrap it around and tuck it down. And I did use this closure a number of years ago when I made tiny books that were on necklaces. They were like little pendants. So I did use this closure before, but then I used it and I put a charm at the bottom, and it was with a cord, it wasn't fabric. But I did like this. Yeah, I like that fabric. So going into the journal, make sure I'm in frame. At the front, I've got an envelope, and I've done the same thing at the back. So I've made 2 envelopes. This one has got no paper around the edge, but this one I put a bit of envelopes. It was a really large brown envelope, and so I saved a little bit of it, and I even saved some of the writing there because it was from someone special. And so I've glued that envelope piece there, and this is Velcro, and it just made a nice edge. After I glued it, I did sew around the edges, and this is music paper. So I've done the front envelope the same, also with a Velcro closure. And inside there, I've got that little scrap piece from this pocket. I don't know what this paper is, but I tea-dyed it and I liked it, so I'm going to save that. I've got a washi sticker here and a little scrap of envelope there so I could make a label. So as I said, I used envelope pages to make this journal, and I love the light blue on the back. Some of the front pages, I felt like the images, even though I liked the image was a bit too bright, so I wanted to soften it down. So on this page, I've softened it with a layer of tissue paper. or serviette. So when you tear your serviette into 3 parts and you have that top part with the image, the bottom 2 parts, the middle one has a bit of ink on it, and then the bottom one is normally plain. So that's the piece that I used for here, and I attached it with a glue stick so it doesn't go hard, it stays soft. And I mean, if you try hard, you can peel it up around the edges, but mostly it just stays down. So that envelope has got a scripture on it. It says, "See, I am doing a new thing." And I loved that. I wanted to save it, but I didn't want it to be as bright as it was. Here I've got an envelope that's been tea dyed, and then I've put it into an embossing folder, and it's got a shadow of flowers on it. And you can see I went a bit heavy with my inking in some of the areas. That wasn't planned. I did ink around the cover as well. I don't know if you can see that. And I liked these little windows where you can look through and you can see something on the next page. So I've tried with all the windows to make something interesting on the page before. There's some more of that envelope, and I've glued it to the top of the page just for some interest. And there's my first decoupaged page. So I've used the top layer of the serviette and I've glued it down with a glue stick. And I love that. And here I've folded that envelope in half and I cut that middle part. So it looks like a little envelope, but it's actually half of a big one. I don't think I put anything in there. The other thing I wanted to tell you, is sometimes envelopes have that part that if you lick it or you wet it, it goes sticky. And I didn't want that to interfere with my journal. Like if something happens and that gets wet, I don't want it to stick together. So I've put masking tape over the top of that sticky part so that it won't stick. It'll always be like that. It only happens with the new envelopes. The used envelopes, they don't have that. This is a cutout from the serviette, and I've just glued it down the same way as the other one with glue stick. And that's my linen. So I've sewn these down, so it gives a nice texture on the side of the page, and I just love that. I love the fabric. Here's another piece of serviette. And this is a little washi sticker. There's the other part of that envelope. So the envelopes that were used envelopes, I glued down, I hope you can see it, I glued down that part and I just cut them around the edges to make a page. So that's why that part where I've had to use masking tape to cover that glue there, I don't have to do it on these pages because I've actually glued them down. And then to soften some of the writing on this page and this page, I've used masking tape. There's my middle, and I've tied it with a piece of embroidery floss, and I just punched 2 holes, and you can see I even made a mistake, so I had to rearrange it, and I've just tied it there. And there's a washi sticker, another serviette and some linen, another one of my envelopes there with a washi sticker. This envelope I was using up this piece of card that was the leftover from the back cover pockets. So I've just attached it there by sewing, and I've put a bit of the brown paper envelope there, and the little envelope is tea dyed. And I thought it went really nicely on this page, and I like the little overhang there. So that becomes a pocket, that's what I meant to say. There's another piece from Serviette. Here's another little window and another envelope, and I did find something little to tuck into here. I've used a tiny little piece of that linen there as a tab, and a bit of envelope here, there. I do like the blue, And I made a belly band here, so more of that envelope and some linen. And then this was the envelope that the washi stickers came in when I ordered them. So I've saved that. It's like vellum. It's beautiful. So I've saved that for my journal. And one last page here with the envelope, with the window. And back to this section. And this one, I found these two little laminated cards in my ephemera box. So I've popped them into the back. And that is my little journal. So I'm really thrilled with it. That's just such a fun thing to do. And as you can see, I used lots of found objects, lots of envelopes, and yeah, such a fun thing to do. So I hope you enjoyed watching and have a good day. Bye.